Welcome back to the stream one more time. Well, another time at least for this OSSC build. So, this is just going to be a quick addendum to the OSSC build part 2 video. The issue that we had at the end of the OSSC part 2 video is that it would not properly there we go. Okay. Sorry about the stream lag. Something's going on with the computer. So the issue we were having with the original video was that the OSSC would not power on. It appeared to have a short on the 3.3 volt lane. But after some digging, what I found was that the voltage regulators that I purchased, these right here, ended up being the wrong ones. So they were the correct voltage, but they are the wrong pin out, the wrong specific version of the voltage regulator. So the voltage regulator that's supposed to be on the OSSC is a 3.3 volt regulator with the left leg down there would be VN. The middle leg and rear thermal sink pad is ground, and then the right leg is V out. Well, this one is a different variation of voltage regulator that has the left leg as ground, the right leg as V out, and the middle leg as V out, and the right leg as V in. And as a result, basically what was happening is that the ground plane was getting the voltage, and VN was being fed to ground of this chip, and it's pretty much terrible. Pretty much terrible. So I was getting all kinds of strange behavior. I thought we had a dead short. It seemed like that would be what it was, but then as I probed it with the multimeter, I didn't get any kind of short detected. I just had varying amounts of resistance. So I thought, well, maybe something isn't completely shorted, but maybe, there's like a partial short to ground somewhere in there. So I started digging around. I pulled off each of the chips, of the main chips. I also pulled off a lot of the individual power regulation hardware, chip by chip, and tested resistance and couldn't find a problem. And then ultimately I thought, well, the voltage regulator is heating up on this, but I can't really find a short. I just know that it doesn't power, and the voltage regulator heats up. If I hit it with alcohol, it evaporates away quickly, which shouldn't happen. So I took one of my other already built OSSC boards and pulled the voltage regulator off of it and put it on here, and it worked. And so then I thought, well, okay, so maybe I just had a bad voltage regulator. So I took another regulator out of the package for the ones that I ordered for this project, because I had ordered a couple, and I soldered it on, and I still got the same behavior again. So at that point I thought, oh, let's go check the data sheet. And that's whenever it became pretty obvious what the problem was. So it's the same model of voltage regulator as the one I need, but it's just a slight variation. So like one letter different in product number. So there you go. But as a result, now this is a functional board. I have already programmed the firmware to it, but I'm going to go through and show you firmware programming anyway, just so that you can see how it works. And then once I get the additional DAC chip in and the correct power regulator, I'll do a final video where I solder in those last few parts and get this fully up and running. Now, full disclosure, in the process of pulling these parts off, I did kill the TVP 7002 chip. I imagine it was either killed by the issue with the voltage regulator, which wouldn't surprise me too much, or possibly it was killed by heat as I removed and replaced it with the heat gun. In addition to having heat gunned it initially, a lot of heat on all of these packages, and the TVP 7002 chip was dead whenever I finally got the whole thing powered on. So one of the two, either I killed it with heat or the voltage regulator being putting voltage to ground, and ground. It was weird. It was bizarre. Anyway, something involved there killed that chip, but I did have an extra one, so I swapped that out, and now we have a fully functional board. So let's go over to the computer, and I'll show how programming it with Quartus works. Oh, also, in the process of doing all this, I did also melt the backlight of the LCD in such a way that it no longer functions at all. So the LCD is fine, but the backlight doesn't light up. That doesn't really bother me too much, but I do have a spare LCD that I can put in if I want to, but I kind of had planned to use that for another future OSSC build. And I will probably stream that one too, because this one went so poorly due to just silly mistakes I made. I will probably do a complete start to finish build of the OSSC when I'm better prepared for it again. And then these videos will kind of just be deprecated a little bit. I mean, you could use them as a reference for some mistakes not to make, but that'll be about it. So let's go over and program the FPGA. Okay. So for the FPGA programming, we need to power up the board. Okay, we need to power up the board. And as you can see, we do have an LED, so it is working. And then we're going to plug our USB blaster in. So that's ready to go. Now let's go ahead and look at Quartus. So we've got the Quartus programmer up, and I've got the hardware set up. I've got the USB blaster selected as the hardware we're going to be using to program. I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. Oops. We'll just add the file. So the file we're going to be programming is the JIC file. And actually, you know what? I messed this up. So let's there we go. Got a fresh screen. So let's add a file. Let's add the OSSC JIC. Make sure our setup is for USB blaster, and it is. So we're going to program and configure, and we're going to verify as well. So now that's ready to go. All we have to do is start programming. Okay, it was successful. And now there you go. OSSC firmware 0.81. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hook this up to a game system and show you that it works. So let's see here. this position to where you can see it. So we'll plug in the N64 that I have sitting over here, kind of ready to go. And I should have done this before, but I'm going to go ahead and add. There we go. So now you'll be able to see the desktop area. So we've got everything plugged up there. Go ahead and power on the OSSC. Okay, so that's the power on test screen. And we'll switch to AV1. And there we go. So now we've got my N64 plugged in to the OSSC, running WWF No Mercy, which is a game that I've never played. Well, I tried to play one time and it didn't work out so great. So I just kind of have it here as a test cartridge for when I do N64 stuff. RGB mods and stuff like that. And that's what this is. This is an N64 RGB mod. And now we're running it on the OSSC. The OSSC doesn't have audio right now because of the missing ADC chip that that's on order. Actually have it on order with quite a few other items as well for a couple other projects we're doing. We'll be doing a GC Dual install soon, so that the parts are on order for that. So that's pretty much it. This is just the kind of addendum to what was done yesterday for the OSSC build, and we do have something that is totally functional now. We just need to do a little bit of just a little bit of work once I get the correct parts in place to get all of my OSSCs up and running. Yeah, so just look forward to another OSSC build in the future where maybe I can get this all kind of organized and planned out a little bit better so that it just works the first time. But I hope you enjoyed watching this journey. I will have another video, another stream going up later today where we're going to be doing a few other things. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested in seeing a mini NES, NES Junior, get RGB modded. Thanks for watching. See you.